Deepinder Goyal wants to make his company Eternal India's first $100 billion tech company, and he wants to do it as soon as 2030. But why is it important, and what does the number $100 billion really signify? See, it's not like that India does not have $100 billion companies at all. In fact, as of today, we have 5 companies with a market cap of more than $100 billion. But all of these are really old companies and are not really technology first. Our focus for this video is on the companies that were born out of the internet. So in a way, companies that have been started after the 2000s. Now, the first milestone for Indian startups was to be a unicorn, which is a valuation of $1 billion. And this was achieved by Flipkart in 2012. And this gave confidence to other founders that they too can build big companies out of India. But more than that, it signaled to the global investors that India has great opportunities and that they should invest their money here. Now, after Unicorn, the next target was Decacorn, which is basically a valuation of $10 billion. Again, Flipkart was the first company to become a Decacorn in 2014. And now the next target for Indian founders is to reach a $100 billion mark. And just for context, the US has around 15 internet tech companies with a valuation of $100 billion and more. And 4 out of these are actually trillion-dollar companies. And I was curious which Indian companies can get to this mark. So in this video, I've talked about 5 companies that have the potential to become India's first $100 billion tech company. So let's jump right into it. And before we start, I want to say that we are now part of Zerodha 01 network. Okay, the first company I want to talk about is Flipkart, which is an obvious name to include in this list. Firstly, because it was the first Indian startup unicorn and in a way birthed the entire Indian startup ecosystem. Flipkart becoming a unicorn in 2012 was a massive news all around the world, and it attracted a lot of global VCs to India. In a way, it paved the way for next generation of founders to build massive companies in India. Now, in 2012, its valuation was $1 billion. In 2014, it became $10 billion. And then in 2018, when Walmart acquired the company, it was valued at $20.8 million. And during the last fundraising round, which was in 2014, Flipkart was valued at around $36 billion. But what's interesting is that the company is planning to do an IPO soon at a valuation of around $70 billion, somewhere during the late 2025 or early 2026. So if all goes according to the plan, Flipkart would be a $70 billion company by next year. And according to its CEO, the company is growing at 20 to 25% annually, which will make it a $100 billion company in just 3 to 4 years from now. And most of this growth is just from the e-commerce business. There are a few new segments where Flipkart has entered, which will drive the company's future growth. The first one is quick commerce, where the company has Flipkart Minutes. Now, quick commerce is a relatively new segment, but it's growing at a crazy rate. And the companies that were the first movers in this are massive companies now. Blinkit, for example, is a $15.4 billion company according to UBS. Then there is Instamart, which is also valued at around $12 billion. And the crazy thing is, this sector is growing at around 150% year on year, which is mind-blowing. Now, it's true that Flipkart has been a late entrant to the segment. Flipkart Minutes was launched just last year, but the company has many advantages that will allow it to grow faster in the quick commerce segment. The most important is Flipkart's scale and reach. The company is present in almost 100% serviceable pin codes in India. Its grocery business was present in 1800 cities back in 2022, whereas the top quick commerce players get most of their business from 7 to 8 big cities. So Flipkart has a much bigger reach than these other players. Second is Flipkart's scale in terms of revenue. If you compare its revenue with these other players, the difference is massive. So basically, Flipkart has a ton of money, which it can spend to build infra, give discounts, and spend on marketing for its quick commerce arm. Flipkart Minutes average order value is already larger than these other players. And the reason is that people already use Flipkart for high value products like electronics and home appliances. So it'll be easier for the company to transition a lot of its traditional users to move to quick commerce. The next product Flipkart is working upon is a financial product, super.money, where the company is going after the rising boom in the fintech space. Flipkart had launched super.money just last year, and it has already become the 5th largest UPI player in India, processing approx 175 million transactions per month. And now the company is going after lending, which is an even bigger opportunity in India. And one thing that will help super.money grow is Flipkart's distribution. A key element of its growth strategy is its focus on underserved segments. So for example, over 40% of super.money users are first first-time borrowers, and more than 50% hail from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And this approach allows the company to tap into a vast under-penetrated market. And as super.money grows, it will directly help Flipkart. So it'll be really interesting to see how quick commerce and its fintech play helps Flipkart reach $100 billion mark faster. Let me know in the comments, when do you think Flipkart will reach this mark? Okay, before we move on to the next startup in the list, I have a quick update for founders building in the health space. So this Friday, which is 22nd August, we're doing a small offline event for Bangalore founders who are building in health. And we're getting Dilip Kumar from Rain Matter for this event. Dilip, I'm sure a lot of you know, but he's one of the leading venture capital voices in India's health space. And he also invests in health startups at Rain Matter. And the idea for the event basically is for the founders to interact with Dilip, ask questions, refine their startup ideas, ultimately understanding that what does an investor think about their idea, because oftentimes I feel there's a gap that exists between what a founder is building and what an investor thinks is a great idea to invest in. So that's what we are trying to solve through this event. Also, it's a great opportunity for you to network with other health founders. We're getting 25 to 30 founders for this event. So it's highly exclusive. So yeah, if this is something that sounds exciting to you, or maybe one of your friend who is building in this space and they could be benefited from it, please check out the link which is in the description. And yeah, as I said, we'll pick the most applicable or most relevant 25 people for this event. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. And now getting back to the video. Okay, the next company is Eternal, whose valuation today is $32 billion. And what's interesting here is that its founder and CEO Deepinder Goyal has repeatedly said that he will make Eternal India's first $100 billion company. And he has a date in mind, before 2030. So let's see how Eternal plans to get there. Currently, the two main pillars of Eternal are Zomato, their food delivery business, and Blinkit, the quick commerce arm. Zomato currently holds around 58% market share in the food delivery app. And according to IMARC, India's food delivery market will grow 7 to 8 times in the next decade. So if Zomato continues to hold its market share, its food delivery business will capture a lot of that growth. Then there is Blinkit, which is growing even faster. Today the valuation of Blinkit alone is more than $15 billion, and it's growing at more than 100% on a year-on-year basis. So I see Blinkit alone becoming a $50 to $60 billion company by 2030. And these are just the two businesses I've talked about. Eternal also has a few other exciting verticals like Hyperpure, which is a B2B platform that supplies fresh ingredients to restaurants and Blinkit's dark stores. And Hyperpure is something that not a lot of people pay attention to, but it's secretly rising to become a massive cash flow business for the company. In the most recent quarter, the revenue that the company made from Hyperpure was very close to Blinkit. So you can safely say that it is an equally important vertical for the company like Zomato and Blinkit. And the last vertical which I want to mention here is District, which is a new offering from the company. District is an ambitious new vertical by Eternal, where it plans to go after the entire going out market. And this includes things like movie and event ticketing, dining out, offline shopping, and staycation. And according to Deepinder, if we execute this well, we see going out becoming the third large B2C business emerging out of Zomato. And this is a consistent thing with Deepinder Goyal. Every 4 to 5 years, he comes up with a new business within the company, which drives its future growth. It first happened with Blinkit, now Hyperpure, and for the future, it's District. And if you combine all these businesses, Eternal, which is currently valued at around $32 billion, will be very close to becoming a $100 billion company by 2030. Okay, the next startup I want to talk about is PhonePe, which is India's most valued fintech company. As of today, PhonePe is valued at $12 billion, and the company is soon planning to do an IPO at a valuation of $15 billion. Now, how will it cover the journey from $15 billion to $100 billion? Let's see. Today, PhonePe is the market leader when it comes to UPI payments. 50% of all UPI transactions in India are done through PhonePe. Now, UPI payments alone is not something that helps PhonePe make money, but it allows the company to cross-sell other financial services. See, thanks to PhonePe's dominance in payments, it has more than 600 million registered users, and the company sells various financial services to this massive customer base. As of today, PhonePe offers financial services like insurance, loans, gold payments, and mutual funds within the app. Along with it, it also allows customers to pay bills and do recharges, where it earns a commission as well. And going ahead, the company plans to launch many innovative financial products for its massive user base. For example, it recently launched PhonePe ATM, where customers can just go to a store, transfer money to the shopkeeper's PhonePe app, and then receive cash from him. A very democratized way of withdrawing cash. Other than fintech, PhonePe is also present in other fields such as e-commerce. In 2023, PhonePe launched PinCode, a hyper-local commerce app powered by ONDC. But now PinCode has pivoted to a quick commerce app that's taking on players like Zepto and Blinkit. The only difference is that PinCode partners up with local stores rather than taking a dark store model. And by doing this, the company operates on an asset-light model, which makes it easier to expand to new cities. It is similar to a hyper-local quick commerce, something that Dunzo was doing in the early days. For me, the main reason PhonePe is in this list is because it has the largest fintech customer base in India, and the company is still in the early days of monetizing this 600 million people. See, India's fintech market is going to explode in the future. According to this PwC report, India's fintech market was valued at $689 billion in 2023, and this will grow more than 3 times to reach $2.1 trillion by 2030. And I feel PhonePe is best suited to grab a big portion of this opportunity. People who today are just using the app for payments will use services like loans, insurance, and mutual fund investment from PhonePe, and that will really boost the valuation for the company. PhonePe's current position looks promising. It's a profitable company and is soon going public, which can happen as early as this year's end. So basically a $15 billion profitable company, and if it grows 20 to 25% per year, it can reach to a $100 billion valuation in 8 to 10 years. The next company in this list is another fintech company, Groww, and this might surprise a lot of people because there's a strong competitor of Groww which has more goodwill and trust of people, and that is Zerodha. But in my opinion, Zerodha is not playing the valuation game, and it probably has no such ambition of becoming a $100 billion company. Firstly, because it has never raised any VC money, and also the company has no plans of going public, so it's hard to include it in this list. Now coming back to Groww, and why am I bullish about this company? See, stock investing is something that's going to see major growth in the coming decade. At present, only around 6% of India's population invests in the stock market, whereas in developed countries like the US, this number is upward of 60%. And in India, Groww is perfectly placed to get a major part of this opportunity. Its interface is very user-friendly, and that's why the company is attracting a lot of first-time investors. Last year, Groww surpassed Zerodha to become the largest stockbroking platform in terms of the number of users. Also, its financials look great. In FY25, Grow's revenue was 4,056 crore rupees, and its profits increased 3 times from the last year, reaching 1,819 crore rupees. So basically, Groww is positioning itself as a highly attractive IPO-ready fintech, and a strong public debut would provide the capital and market validation to fuel the next stage of its growth. Firstly, the company will continue to see a healthy number of users joining its platform. Next, the company would focus on increasing the revenue per user from its existing 1.3 crore active investors, and it can do so by converting its large base of mutual fund investors into more active traders, and then cross-selling them high-margin products like futures and options. For me, the story of Robinhood in the US is extremely fascinating. How it grew so fast during the COVID and because of the meme stock rush, and is already valued at more than $100 billion. And Groww can think of similar events to attract a big chunk of first-time investors. Now, the last company in this list is highly controversial, and that is Ola Electric. And the reason I want to make a case for Ola Electric is its ambitious vision and the ruthlessness of the founder Bhavesh Aggarwal. See, a lot of people make fun of Bhavesh, saying he wants to become the next Elon Musk. The guy is visionary, works extremely hard, and is amazingly good at raising money from investors. And yes, his company has a lot of problems, mainly around the product quality. But what if I tell you that Tesla and Elon Musk faced similar issues when they started building electric cars as well? Tesla's first 2 cars, Model S and Model X, faced issues like inconsistent build quality, wide panel gaps, poor paint finishes, and misaligned components. It was only with the launch of Model 3 in 2017 that Tesla could address these issues, and they have since then kept improving the quality of their cars. It's just that Elon never gave up and continued to build despite facing backlash from customers and the public markets. So there's a good chance Bhavesh can repeat the same thing. I know it's highly speculative, but it is possible. Ola Electric had the ambition of building an electric scooter from scratch, and they did it in around 1 year from announcing it. And yes, the product has service related issues, but the company is now trying to address them by opening more service centers. And this is something that they did not anticipate earlier. In addition, Ola Electric is now entering the electric motorcycle market, which is even bigger than the scooter market. And after that, the company has plans to launch an EV car. And mind you, they only need one successful product, which will make people forget about all the mistakes of the past. In addition to different vehicles, Ola Electric is building an entire EV infrastructure in India. It is building this Gigafactory, which is India's first lithium-ion cell manufacturing facility. And next to it, the company has also built Ola's Future Factory, which it plans to make the world's biggest EV hub. Here, the company will manufacture electric scooters, motorcycles, and eventually cars. Next, the company is also building the Ola Hypercharger network, where it plans to build more than 100,000 charging stations across 400 cities. So basically, Bhavish is trying to build an EV future in India. He wants to do something in 5 years, which normally would have taken decades. And yes, right now things don't look great for the company, but as I said, it only needs one successful product for the people to forget all their past mistakes. And if Bhavish is successful, then $100 billion is an achievable mark for the company. We have seen in China how companies like BYD and SAIC Motors have become massively successful in the last 1 decade, and Ola Electric can do the same in India. In the end, I want to ask you, what do you think of this analysis? And which company according to you will be the first one to hit the $100 billion mark? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.